Mahomes is headed back to the Super Bowl for, I think, the third time in his career. Nope. Fourth, if I'm not mistaken. Fourth. This is Patrick Mahomes' fourth Super Bowl appearance, if I'm not mistaken. And they will face off against Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this is history in the making. I think this is the first time you're going to have two black quarterbacks facing each other in the Super Bowl. You know, Patrick Mahomes versus Jalen Hurts. I'll talk about that later on. So that's good to see. At the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes, you got to give this dude all the credit in the world. Patrick Mahomes, as some people would call him, sensational in this game. And you could call him a one-legged Patrick Mahomes. He basically threw for 326 yards. He threw for 2 touchdowns. At the end of the day, the defense made plays on Joe Burrow, and then a inexplicable, basically unnecessary roughness call happens toward Patrick Mahomes, and that basically gets them 15 yards closer to kick basically a 45-yard field goal to win the game and advance to the Super Bowl. Very bonehead, irresponsible play. You know, this terrible judgment, terrible decision, and that's pretty much it. But at the end of the day, low scoring game, low scoring game. And you got to give credit to Patrick Mahomes for going out there playing. And I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes was banged up bad. Yeah, that was just, that's one that's gonna stick with you for a long time. It was no reason for him, once he got out of bounds, and he clearly was out of bounds. There's no way to say it was on, you know what I'm saying? It was on instinct. He clearly got out of frustration. The same thing what happened with the 49ers and the Eagles. The Eagles they just pounced on the 49ers. They were just the superior and far better team. They had their moments. The Bengals had their moments, but the pass rush just put pressure on Burrow towards the end, and they made some plays, got some sacks, and basically they got the ball back. And then that boneheaded play, and that was basically the death blow. Not literally, of course, and that was it. But history is in the making. I think this is going to be the first time you ever had two black quarterbacks facing off in the Super Bowl. Even though, let's see how the NFL plays this. I know I'm going to talk about it, because I think we finally have all the answers on whether black quarterbacks belong in the NFL. There were still questions, but I know Patrick Mahomes has a white mother and whatever, but Patrick Mahomes considers him, he says he's black, whatever. And Jalen Hurts is clearly black. Shout out to Jalen Hurts. Shout out to Houston. Shout out to, because I got a lot of subs in Houston. So Jalen Hurts representing that Houston. This is going to be a great Super Bowl. I kind of feel like at the end of the day, this is a victory for the culture. I feel like it's a victory for the culture. It's a victory. It's a win-win situation for us, because at the end of the day, you're going to have a black quarterback walking away holding the Vince Lombardi trophy. Now, who will win the game? Man. 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 Who am I going for? Who I think going to win the game? I don't know. I think the Eagles got what it takes to. I think the Eagles got what it takes to win the whole thing. I think the Eagles have been the best team this whole season. Why not stop now? But I do think there are going to be moments in the game where Jalen Hurts is going to have to, make plays with his arms. Basically, he got to relax today. Jalen Hurts is a little banged up too, but he got to relax today because basically the running game and the defense did all the work for him. But that's not going to fly in a couple of weeks, because We know that Kansas City can put up points in a heartbeat. Do I think the Eagles can match them point for point? Yeah, actually they can. Actually they can. I really think this game might come down to play calling and in the right moment. I think it's gonna be a decent scoring game. Jay Don, don't do that, bro. Let me say what I need to say, bro. Okay, I don't need that right now. I don't need. It's only one host on this stream, and that's me. I'm not finna argue with you about Patrick Mahomes. I'm not finna do that. Let's enjoy this. Let's not have ethnicity combo. That's a video for another day. Okay, let's celebrate these dudes. These two dudes going to the Super Bowl. At the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes has a black father, and I mean, technically, according to the Bible, if you are what your father is. So you don't want to have that conversation with me. So please respect my stream, bro. Okay, let's just please. I'm not trying to do that right now. I'm not in the mood for that. Respect my stream, bro. For real. Or I'm gonna have somebody bounce you. We not doing that today. We not doing that super militant pro black. No, we're not doing that. Yeah, J Dog, I'm gonna look forward to it. Yeah, Percy, I'm like I said, I'm happy for both. I'm happy for both these dudes. So at the end of the day, it's no win-lose situation because at the end of the day, it is what it is. Though, like Patrick Mahomes is a sensational quarterback. Jalen Hurts is proven to be is on his way to being a sensational quarterback. I like both of these dudes, though. I like both of these dudes. Real talk. Yeah, me too, Percy. I'm enjoying this, man, because I'm definitely gonna talk about this. That video is coming later on. I gotta do some other videos, but yeah, man, the Chiefs deserve to be there. They fought hard. They fought hard. They had some mishaps, but at the end of the day, they put it together. And the Bengals for a long time had their number. So this is going to be a great rivalry for many years to come. I got to do a video. I'm going to tell you something, Percy. I see something in Josh Allen that kind of like bothers me. And I'm going to do that video about Josh Allen too. And no, not about the tweet, but I just see something about Josh Allen as far as his play go. That's I'm starting to raise my antennas to something I see in Josh Allen. But you will see. But yeah, man, this is gonna be a great Super Bowl. I would travel to Arizona to go see it, but man, them Super Bowl tickets is very expensive. Nah, Patrick Mahomes is the real. He's the real deal. To me, Patrick Mahomes, what he's done in less than 7 seasons is astonishing. But he does need to win more Super Bowls. Now, will he win 7 Super Bowls like Tom Brady? Probably not, because he probably would have to play 20 plus years and be completely selfish and only care about his stats and football more than he does his wife and kids. So but just looking at Patrick Mahomes, what he's done, and he's not even that, and Patrick Mahomes isn't even that old. I don't even think, to be honest with you, I don't even think we've seen the best Patrick Mahomes yet. I think his best years are ahead of him. Man, Patrick Mahomes had one leg in that and he had one leg in that football game. Probably probably the you know what I'm saying? Probably the consensus probably want Philly to win because I think it would be a better story. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, pay the man. This is gonna be a good Super Bowl. Then again, any Super Bowl is better than that Super Bowl with the Rams and the Patriots a few years ago. That was like the most unbearable, unwatchable Super Bowl I had ever saw in my life. But I really think that Philadelphia is gonna have to. I really think that Philadelphia is gonna have to try. I think Philadelphia need to do what got them there. Just a good mixture of running the ball and passing. Because I don't think they gonna put Hurts in a position where he has to be flinging the ball like 30, 40 yards. Because Hurts is one of those dink and dunk type of passers. He has a solid arm, but he ain't one of them dudes that can like launch the ball like Josh Allen can. I think they gonna play the best to his strengths. Jalen Hurts is one of those solid. He can, 10, 15, you know what I'm saying? Just, move the ball. You're not going to put him in packages where he just can like throw a 30-yard, 40-yard bomb like Josh Allen can. We do know that Josh Allen has a great arm. Nobody can throw it down the middle like Josh Allen. That's one thing he can do. But it's just the other little things that Josh Allen is missing that he's failed to pick up. He's a gunslinger. Well, that could happen. Well, I'm going to say this about Lamar Jackson. I don't know what the future holds for Lamar Jackson, but he's hinting that he doesn't want to play in Baltimore anymore. He's talking about he's going to sit out if they try to franchise him and all that kind of stuff. To me, they should just try to work on a deal and see could maybe they do a sign and trade and see could they get something for him. They could just let him become a free agent, but they probably gonna franchise him. If they franchise this Lamar Jackson, they have to pay him. I think they have to pay him like $40 million or something. And one thing that bothers me about Lamar Jackson, I don't like the idea. This is and I hope people don't take this the wrong way. I don't like the idea of his mother serving as an advisor, his mother and his uncles, serving as an advisor because Lamar Jackson is technically his own agent, but his mother is one of his advisors. I think his mother and one of his uncles and all that kind of stuff. I don't be liking that kind of stuff. And don't turn this into you don't think black women? No, it's not about that. It's just that she don't have experience with negotiations and that kind of stuff. When you dealing with these organizations, you got, at the end of the day, they want to get you for the best price available and pay you what they think they should pay you. Do not get it twisted that these owners are just willing to fork out $200 million for you. They will try to put every type of loophole and incentive laced type of clause in your contract, and you have to watch that kind of stuff. So this is why I'm kind of weary of Lamar Jackson's mother and his uncles serving as I just don't like that. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Percy? Am I wrong for just worrying about that? Y'all know how they do us. I just don't want Lamar Jackson to get famous Amos. So am I out of line for that? No, his mom is no, for real. His mom is one of his advisors. That's His mom is one of his advisors. That's factual. Is Patrick Mahomes the next Tom Brady? Well, he won't ever be the next Tom Brady because one, he have to get caught cheating multiple times in Super Bowls, and then he has to get caught cheating, period, and then he has to play for like almost 24 years. No, Patrick Mahomes is just Patrick Mahomes. Like, I give Tom Brady his credit for what he's accomplished as a quarterback, but at the end of the day, you have to put an asterisk on his career because he's been caught and tied to multiple cheating scandals. Oh, what's up, man? So that's just me. But yeah, Lamar Jackson, his mother and his uncle serve as one of his advisors. I know that Lamar is supposed to be calling the shots, but he had people whispering in his ear. And like I said before, I think he should hire somebody that's at least established that know the business, for real. Now, if his mother got some kind of certification, then that's a different story. But if she just somebody that just decided I'm going to be my son's advisor and she don't know, it's that kind of stuff is tricky. Don't ever think that a team is willing to give you X amount of money. No. Because I don't think no billionaire is just openly will. Hey, here you go, $200 million. Nah, don't ever believe that. That's why in the NFL, they can, after a certain amount of years, they can just, either try to get you to restructure your contract or they could just let you go. We all know that those NFL contracts are not ironclad. They can give you guaranteed money up front. Yeah, where they can keep you for a certain amount of years and pay you the guaranteed money. And once again, that's basically how your contract is constructed. That's what it always comes down to. So, like I said, I would love to have Lamar Jackson in Las Vegas. Yeah, I'll say that was just terrible decision making on his part. Terrible. I mean, terrible. I mean, like, what was the dude thinking? Like, what was he thinking? And he could sit up there and cry on the bench all he wants. Hey, dude, you cost him a chance to at least take that game into overtime because who knows what happens if they can get this game into overtime. But I wonder I'm trying to figure out, will Patrick Mahomes be, at least a little healed up by the time the game, comes about in a couple of weeks. He should be a little bit better. But, man, you got to give Patrick Mahomes credit, man. I got to give that dude all the credit in the world for basically Lamar in Washington. Lamar in DC. Who's supposed to be buying the Commanders? Oh, the Ravens is cheap like Little Caesars pizza. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need that Little Caesars. I don't need that Little Caesars at all. I like to see Lamar in Las Vegas because I just don't think that Derek Carr is I just don't think he their guy. Derek Carr has had chance after chance to show his worth and prove that he is a reliable quarterback. Remember, you guys, Derek Carr slipped to the second round because of what we're seeing now about his decision making. The Raiders were god awful in the second half. I mean, they just could not score points in the second half. And that was because of their quarterback. Derek Carr would just be god awful. Like in the second half, he just was a dude. He just couldn't play a complete game of good football, and he been the Raiders' Achilles heel. So to me, it's just time to move on. Well, I think if Josh, I think they want to give. I think they want to give that mantle to Josh Allen, but you're gonna have to when this is over. When this is over, you're gonna really have to make an assessment. All this stuff about black quarterbacks being flukes and all this kind of stuff, that debate should be over. But somebody will find a way to try to, keep the conversation going about whether blacks are efficient enough to lead teams. Well, it's been proven. Jalen Hurts led his team to the Super Bowl. He got him there. He got him there. And he should get all the credit the same way Patrick Mahomes got the Chiefs back to the Super Bowl. But Jalen Hurts, keep in mind, we all let's just keep it a buck. We didn't really have the Eagles on our radar. Some of y'all might have had the Eagles on, but by week 7, I started to take the Eagles serious. I was like, hey, man, the Eagles seem to be the real deal. The Eagles wasn't on. I don't think the Eagles was on nobody's radar. Nobody projected the Eagles to be, in a position to win a Super Bowl. But the Eagles have been the best team this year. I don't think none of us, I wasn't checking for the Eagles. But then y'all seen by week 8, you can look at my videos. By week 6, week 8, I started saying, okay, I think we need to start taking the Eagles serious. And a lot of us thought that the Eagles, they'll come back down to earth. No, I told you that the Dolphins would eventually come down to earth. But I started seeing the Eagles, seeing how balanced they was on defense and offense. Yeah, by week 10, I was like, yeah, the Eagles are for real. The Eagles are good enough. The Eagles are good enough to get there, and they proved me right. Let's just keep it a buck. A lot of us, we wasn't checking for the Eagles, but they're there now. What about Russell Wilson? I know in Denver, Russell Wilson in Denver have been a disaster, but it wasn't entirely all his fault. It was just it was the offense they was running. But I'm trying to think. Is this the first time? Yeah, it will be. But yeah, like I said, man, nobody was checking for the Eagles. Not me, not mostly. Probably the only people that was checking for the Eagles was the Eagles fans. Like I said, by the time week 10 rolled around, yeah, the Eagles had made their presence felt. And I mean, the Eagles got everything. They got receivers. They got a good running game. They got a good defense. I mean, they can do it all. When I say they are balanced, no weaknesses really anywhere. The only thing that's going to come into question is Hurts' experience, because this is his first rodeo, which, by the way, I think Jalen Hurts and the Eagles will eventually get back to the Super Bowl. I think eventually they will win it all. Yeah, you right. NASCAR talks. Yeah. Listen, man. I think listen, everybody. I think anybody that needs a quarterback would like to have Lamar Jackson. I mean, listen. I'm being biased, but I would love to have Lamar Jackson in Vegas. Patrick Mahomes, nah, I don't know, man. I think Patrick Mahomes. I think Patrick Mahomes is gonna go beyond greatest black quarterback. I mean, he might be right now, but I think Patrick Mahomes, when it's all said and done, I think he might be one of the greatest quarterbacks that ever played. But Patrick Mahomes, he got to win more Super Bowls. He got to at least win because they gave Patrick Mahomes an astronomical amount of money. They gave him an astronomical amount of money. And when you give Patrick Mahomes the type of money you gave him, you got to win multiple Super Bowls. You got to win at least the money they gave Patrick Mahomes. They expected at least 3 of these things out of him. And it could start in the next couple of weeks. But I think Patrick Mahomes, like I said, as far as seeing what he's done, yeah, he's amazing. And he has good numbers too. Now I don't know. I don't want to make the Tom Brady comparison to Patrick Mahomes, like, because what is this? This is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes? What, 6th year? So I don't want to make that comparison as far as numbers go. And you got to understand something. Y'all got to understand something about Tom Brady. I'm not going to try to diminish what Tom Brady did, but then you have to remember when as Tom Brady was playing and continuing to play, y'all have to remember they started tweaking the rules a little bit in the NFL to make it a more, passer scoring friendly league, because they got tired of those 17 to 14 games. So that's why they started tweaking the lead a little bit, where it was easy to get 15-yard penalties for roughing the passer and keep the team on the field and help them get closer to, field goal range to kick field goals and, run up the scoreboard. So, I'm not diminishing what Tom Brady did, but you do got to keep it 100. They did start to, tweak the league around. When Tom Brady was playing, y'all remember that horrible overtime rule where basically the first team to score just win the game, period. So they started tweaking a little bit, putting, adding little rules and stuff to make it a more scoring efficient game. So there you have it. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. That last Super Bowl that Peyton Manning won, that was more of the defense. That was what you call a goodbye. That was what you call a goodbye ring for Peyton Manning, because he was what you would call the elder statesman for the league and stuff. And they just didn't want him to lead with just one Super Bowl, because I'm gonna be honest with you, that Super Bowl, a lot of people think that the Carolina Panthers, well, the deep sea dive, Cam Newton. And this is why a lot of people to this day don't respect Cam Newton, because a lot of people think that Cam Newton took that game off, if you catch my drift. Well, yeah, like I said, they started changing the rules to make it more offensive friendly. And that's how it happened. That's exactly how it happened. Yeah, they did. But this is what the league wanted. Because, in the days of the Dallas Cowboys and the 49ers and stuff, it wasn't like I said, it really was about defense winning championships. I don't think that slogan is efficient anymore. Now it's about offense wins championships. They did not like those 17 to 13, 21 to 7. They wanted you putting up at least 30 points in some of these Super Bowls. Or they wanted at least a 3 touchdown minimum in these Super Bowls. So that's why they started, like I said, tweaking things around, you know, or according to them, fixing little things. And that's how it happened. Oh, what's up, man? Yeah. Yeah. It's all about in all of the sports today. They feel like it's about offense more. You seen it started in Major League Baseball. It started in Major League Baseball when all those players was knowingly, you know what I'm saying, using that stuff. Because now, growing up watching baseball, now it's normal. It's normal for a baseball player now to hit 45, 50 home runs now. That was unheard of in the 70s, back then. That was unheard of. But now you got guys randomly hitting. I'm talking about you guys random. I'm talking about you got dudes on a regular basis hitting 40, 50 home runs. Having teams with 3 guys hitting at least 40 home runs. And most of the games in baseball, you seeing all these 10-9 games, 10-8 games, because once again, they wanted more offense. And that's why I laugh at Major League Baseball, because they are a complete joke. Bud Silic knew that all those players, for the most part, was on that stuff. But the problem is he let the critics and the writers just single out specific people, and it was based off who they didn't like. Like I said, a lot of people just didn't like Barry Bonds. A lot of people didn't like Roger Clemens. People didn't like Randy Johnson. Some people didn't like Mike Piazza. And that's the problem that I have, that they just singled out Barry Bonds, and technically Barry Bonds on record has never failed any kind of test. Look, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter whether we suspect, think, believe. Couldn't prove it. Couldn't prove it. And then you had Greg Anderson, who basically refused to, dime Barry Bonds out. And this is why I laugh at a lot of these dudes that be trying to justify what Gunna and then the other dude did. At the end of the day, Greg Anderson went to jail like 2 or 3 times. And he refused, and he still refused to roll over on Barry Bonds. So, kind of funny, you got Greg Anderson, a white man that got more street cred than some of these so-called rappers. That was a bad look, man. That was a bad look, man. But that's the problem that I had. They just singled, but this is what they want. Same thing with the NBA. You wasn't randomly having no 125 to 125 to 120. That's like every day now. They wanted the league to be more offensive friendly, because when Michael Jordan was playing, which to a certain degree, it could be an eyesore. I'm not gonna lie. I do think the NBA is a little too offensive minded, especially when you look at the type of defense. Nobody really plays man to man. Mostly all the teams play zone, and it's just a lazy way to play defense. And that's why the 3-point game became more relevant, because you see how easy it is to launch 3-pointers, which, hey, it is what it is. But I'm just saying this is what they wanted. And I'm not gonna lie, when Hakeem and Charles Barkley was playing, and the early days of Shaquille O'Neal, and when Kobe Bryant came out, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Some of them 79 to 76 games were unbearable at times. But now you just got, on a regular basis, people, you got games 131 to 127. But yeah, so I feel like the league overdid it in trying to make the NBA overdid it in trying to make the league more offensive friendly. But I understand what they was trying to do, because like I said, watching some of those games when Michael Jordan was playing, yeah, it was, whoo, man. I didn't care for those, I didn't care for those games. The Chicago Bulls win, 83 to 83 to 79. Y'all be like, ooh. Yeah, oh, that, yeah. Nah, Kansas City won that game fair and square, because we could make an argument how Kansas City got screwed in that Super Bowl versus Tampa Bay a few years ago, where they basically they couldn't buy a call. I mean, the NFL made that Super Bowl with the Bucks and the Chiefs so obvious. It was just, I mean, it was just obvious what was going on. I mean, they was just making it so obvious that they was literally, showing us right before our eyes they was trying to help Tom Brady win that game. Flat out. Nah, I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. The Chiefs won fair and square. They won fair and square. No foul play. No suspicious. Nothing suspicious about this game. I think certain games. I know that Super Bowl with the Raiders in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But here we go again. The Tampa Bay, like I keep saying, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a Super Bowl winning team that have two suspicious Super Bowls. Tampa Bay said out of their own mouth, John Lynch said out of their own mouth, that they knew everything the Raiders was going to do. And it wasn't because John Gruden was the former head coach and he knew the players. Nah, it was because he knew the plays. And then Callahan did something real weird where he basically changed the game plan like 2 days before the Super Bowl, because what the Raiders' plan was to do, they was going to basically pound the ball, run the ball, control the clock, and deke and dunk, and just try to keep Tampa Bay off. Keep in mind, Tampa Bay wasn't no offensive juggernaut. I mean, they scored like 40 points in that game. That Tampa Bay team was mediocre as far as offense went. I mean, come on, let's just keep it a buck. But once again, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, two suspicious Super Bowls. They said out of their own mouth. John Lynch said, man, this Super Bowl was like practice. He said we knew everything they was going to do. Yeah, they had a good defense, but they couldn't score. I always thought that Super Bowl was suspicious, and it wasn't because sour grapes or anything like that. I could see if Tampa Bay had won like you know what I'm saying, 20-17 or something like that, or 21-14 or something like that. But man, they put up 40 points. When I said they knew everything the Raiders was gonna do, they knew everything. They said it themselves. And to me, that should have been, and to me, that was a form of cheating. They basically said they knew, when they say they knew everything the Raiders was gonna do, that mean they had, to me, that was sort of like a sign they had a heads up. But Tampa Bay won that Super Bowl. It's in the record books. It's nothing I could do about it. But I've always thought that Super Bowl was suspicious. Jerry Rice said something was suspicious about that game. Tim Brown said it. Keep in mind, Jerry Rice already had 3 Super Bowls with the 49ers. So he has nothing to, you know what I'm saying? He has nothing to gripe about. He already had won Super Bowls, but he said something wasn't right about that Super Bowl. Keep in mind, the Raiders had the number 1 offense that year. And Rich Gannon was like a league MVP. Brad, yeah, they put up like 40 points. That was, you can make an argument. Man. Several players. Don't you remember Barrett Robbins went AWOL? He ran to Mexico because he knew what was going on. He was like, man, he told Callahan, he said, please don't do this to me. And then to say that you gonna listen, he went from saying that we gonna run the ball and pound you know what I'm saying, pound the ball up the field, take up the clock, to where we gonna throw the ball 40 times. We gonna throw the ball 40 times in a game. And Rich Gannon wasn't a dude that had like a strong going. Rich Gannon, he was one of them dink and dunk type of passers. Yeah, he was good for like moving the ball up the field with dink and dunk passes. A quick 5-yard strike, a 10-yard strike, 15-yard strike. Rich Gannon wasn't them type of quarterbacks that was launching the ball, who could launch the ball like Ben Roethlisberger, you know, just easily throw the ball 30, 40 yards down the field with one play. He wasn't that type of quarterback. So keep in mind, when you change the game plan, okay, guess what? The defense know what you doing. Your quarterback become predictable. So, you know, but that's neither here or there. That was like 20 something years ago. But I'm just saying, I ain't gonna lie, I'm still a little bitter about it. But my argument is legitimate. It ain't sour grapes. Well, John Gruden said that he got dirt, and keep in mind, Daniel Snyder said he gonna release more dirt. We all know that Daniel Snyder released those pictures of Jerry Jones, allegedly, because the people that first reported the story about Jerry Jones being at that Jim Crow rally worked for the Washington Post. And keep in mind, Daniel Snyder says he has more dirt. He says he's gonna release it. And you're right. I wouldn't be surprised if John Gruden, and keep in mind, John Gruden said he had dirt. He said he had dirt on the NFL and the owners. Whenever you start talking about games being rigged, keep in mind you have gambling going on and stuff. So basically, if the outcome was predetermined, let's just say you went to a casino and you bet like $100,000 on the Raiders to win the Super Bowl, and you know that they cheated in the Super Bowl. Well, guess what? You got cheated by the casino, and the casino owe you money because it wasn't a legit game, because it was WWE. One thing the NFL is scared of, they do not like that word fixed. And then now that you have an actual NFL team in Las Vegas that happen to be the Raiders, well, guess what? They probably just going to give John Gruden some hush money. The league is probably going to write him a check, because keep in mind, The league supposed to got hold of some damaging documents. Some damaging documents, some emails. Like I said, John Gruden said he got real dirt on the NFL. Wouldn't that be funny if he admitted that Super Bowl was rigged? Well, guess what? If he admits that Super Bowl was rigged, then they have to they have no choice but to put an asterisk on that Super Bowl, or they have to rule it a no contest. And they don't want to do that. Yeah, yeah. Vegas next year is gonna be nuts. With the Super Bowl being in Vegas, I can tell you this much: the Raiders won't be playing in the Super Bowl. I can promise you that they won't be playing in it. But anyway, you guys, thanks for tapping in. I'll be back more later on.